Seeing a car fall into a ditch, his first reaction wasn't to save people, but to pull out the nails on the road, because these nails that caused the accident were all hammered into the ground by him. At first, he just scattered nails on the road, but they were often knocked flying by trucks, so he used a drill to make holes in the road, and then placed the nails in them. He didn't do this to harm people. In fact, he was the owner of a repair shop. The shop was on a national highway, and business was barely enough to make ends meet. But recently, a developer came to the town. Since the road started construction, cars have been taking detours one after another. The traffic flow dropped sharply, and naturally, the shop's business worsened too. Not only that, the big trucks brought a lot of dust, making it hard for them to even eat properly. The man couldn't stand it anymore. He ran to the construction site and demanded compensation from the developer. But this was normal construction. Who would pay attention to him? So the man started causing trouble and accidentally knocked down the developer's daughter. The woman was so angry that she called the police. The police scolded the man, saying this project was a major matter for the town, and told him not to stir up trouble anymore. The man finally made it home, only to be complained at by his wife. Thinking about all these troubles, he became completely dejected. But a turn of events soon came. One night, while repairing a car, he found the tire was punctured by a metal patch. After replacing the tire, the man had a bad idea. He immediately raised the price on the spot. It should have only cost $50, but he said it would be $200. The customer was unwilling, but his girlfriend urged him to leave, so he had to pay $200. After tasting the sweetness again, the man's mood improved a lot. When he was packing his tools, he saw the metal patch on the tire. It seemed like he thought of something. Looking at his thin wife, after a moment of inner struggle, his conscience was still defeated by reality. In the middle of the night, he secretly scattered metal patches on the highway. The next morning, customers really came to his shop. He tricked the customers into replacing their tires and got a considerable sum of money. He thought life was finally getting better, but in the following days, the shop became quiet again. There were clearly cars passing by, but nothing happened to them. The man was confused. He went to the place where he had scattered the metal patches, and after careful observation, he found out that big trucks were bouncing the metal patches away. To make more money, he improved the metal patches. When his wife fell asleep, he quietly ran out of the house and scattered the metal patches on the road. Suddenly, someone tapped him on the shoulder. This scared the man a lot. It turned out to be his wife. His wife felt uneasy about his behavior. If someone got into a car accident because of this, they would all be ruined. The man comforted her, saying that once they made enough money, they would leave the town forever. Under his reassurance, his wife had to agree. Little did they know what big trouble their actions would bring. The man just wanted to go on vacation, but found that the flight he was taking was flight 1015. Today happened to be October 15th, and the plane's departure time was also delayed until 10:15. All this was too much of a coincidence. The man felt a trace of unease. He kept looking around, but didn't notice anything unusual. As he sat in his seat nervously, he suddenly found a radio. It was predicting a plane crash, and the accident plane was exactly flight 1015. Out of curiosity, he put on the headphones to listen to what was being said. The radio mentioned that there would be a heavy rain outside the window soon, and that contact with the ground would be lost in an hour. At first, David didn't pay much attention. Unexpectedly, as the plane took off, it really started to rain heavily outside the window. At this time, the radio continued to broadcast, saying that the plane would hit a flock of birds soon. David didn't believe it, because the plane was in the clouds now, and there couldn't be any birds. Unexpectedly, the next second, he finally believed everything the radio said, thinking that the plane would crash in an hour. David kept comforting himself, hoping to calm down. When he came out of the bathroom, the plane had returned to its usual calm, but he was still a little uneasy. So he pressed the call button to call the flight attendant over. He asked if the plane had hit a flock of birds just now. The flight attendant looked very confused after hearing this, thinking that David was having hallucinations, and then left without hesitation. At this time, there was a sound from the seat behind. The man behind was named Mike. He had been a captain of this airline before. Even if there was an accident on the plane, the crew would not tell the passengers. David became very nervous after hearing this. He put on the headphones and continued listening. The plane would disappear at 11:50, and it was already 10:30. He realized that he couldn't just sit and wait for death, so he started looking for clues in the cabin, trying to prevent the upcoming crash. At this moment, he suddenly saw someone playing with a mobile phone. David hoped they would stop, but the other person thought he was crazy. Long-distance planes are equipped with wireless networks, which would not affect flight safety at all. The argument attracted the flight attendant. After getting her confirmation, David had to leave helplessly. He continued to listen to the information on the radio, which mentioned that after the captain said "Good night, New York," the plane would disappear completely. At this time, the captain came over. Seeing that David still hadn't returned to his seat, he dragged him aside. The captain thought he was unwell. However, David insisted that the captain should not say "Good night, New York" later, as it was a matter of all passengers' safety.